Did you ever delete texts?
From last year?
Yes.
Yes.
After you had text messages with the defense, did you delete those texts?
Yeah, after the trial concluded, I mean, that's something I routinely do. I'm not going to keep texts from Mr. Jackson, especially now that we're past a year. I would have no reason to keep those, sir.
I'm not asking for the excuse. I'm asking if you did it. Did you delete texts?
Again, it's something that I typically do. I communicate with attorneys all the time, whether it's for trial or inspections. I don't have a habit of keeping a text chain about scheduling or meeting or, hey, can we meet at this time or show up here. I just don't have a habit of keeping that type of text. So he's not my friend, sir.
So you didn't delete texts?
I think I just told you that, yes, I did delete the text.
No, you didn't tell me, but you just did now. Thank you.
Objection, Your Honor.
So next question, no
Okay.
comments, Mr. Maloney.
How many texts did you delete in communications with the defense?
I don't know the number, sir.
You don't know the numbers?
I don't have the text. So you're asking me over a year ago almost about text messages. I don't recall how many there were.
All right. Was there 10, 100, 1,000? How many were there?
Of ones that I sent?
No, not just what you sent. Either way, back and forth.
Probably, I don't know, maybe around 100 or so.
And when did you delete those over 100 texts between you and the defense?
As I mentioned, I think the last text that I remember was Mr. Jackson texting me, just thanking me for my time coming up here after the trial. Again, that was at the end of June. And then I didn't hear from him. And at some point, I don't know specifically when, it would have been last year, but I deleted those texts. There was no reason for me to keep those, sir.
Do you remember about when you made the affirmative intentional effort to delete around 100 text messages between you and the defense?
It would have been sometime after the trial, probably before I got my new phone in November, but it would have been probably in the month or two after the trial, sir.
Where were you when you were deleting these texts? Were you at your office, at home? Do you remember sitting down and deciding intentionally you were going to delete over 100 texts? Where did that decision happen?
I have no idea, sir.
You can't remember deleting over 100 texts where you
Sir,
were?
I just said I delete text routinely. You're asking me to specifically give you a location and a time when I deleted those? I don't recall that.
You said it was after the trial.
Yes.
And out of the 100 texts or so, who were you texting on the defense team?
I believe it would have just been Mr. Jackson on that.
Did you ever communicate by any other means, like Signal or an application?
During the time of the trial?
Anytime.
Yes, sir.
With the defense?
Yes.
Is it typical for a biomechanical engineer to use an application like Signal to talk to an attorney on a case?
Sure.
You know the benefit of Signal, don't you?
I mean, it's a messaging platform, yes.
Well, encrypted app, isn't it?
What was that?
Encrypted?
I don't know, sir.
It keeps no record of the communication when you use an application like Signal, does it?
I don't know, sir.
Well, you used it. Did you have it on your phone that you were using it with other people?
No, I don't believe so.
So the only time that you use Signal in your career is when you were dealing with this defense team?
Yes, it was earlier this year. Mr. Jackson had communicated with me indicating that it was his preferred method of communication. So yes, we did exchange some messages on Signal. But this was at no point in time during the first trial.
Using the Signal app, was that your suggestion?
No, again, I think it was Mr. Jackson that said it was his preferred method.
Is that standard in your industry to use Signal when you're talking to clients?
I don't know that there's a standard out there, sir.
I'm asking about your standard. Is it
If-
your standard to use an encrypted app when you're talking to attorneys?
If the client has that preference, I don't have a problem with it, sir.
How many times have you done it other than this defense team?
Again, as I just mentioned, it was the first time.
How many conversations did you think you had with the defense team by Signal?
Again, it would have been just Mr. Jackson. And like I said, it was really, I think, just in the month of March of this year, but it was brief. I know that I think we exchanged a couple phone calls, and I remember the call quality was terrible, so we really didn't use it that much.
Okay, you're saying a lot of things. You're saying you think. I want to know your best memory. I don't want you to think. If you don't know, you don't know. How many times did you use Signal with the defense to talk about this case?
Going to allow it.
From what I recall, was probably a handful of times.
When you say if what you recall, are you purposely being vague in case there's records, or do you not remember?
I don't remember, sir. As you mentioned, it doesn't keep a log of it, so I just don't recall.
Well, you don't have to rely on a log. You can rely on your actual memory.
Right, I'm telling you that I didn't keep track of it, so I don't know the specific number.
How many times do you think you talked by Signal?
As I just mentioned, I think it was a handful of times.
I don't know what a handful means. I don't
Probably
know what that
around,
means.
probably 4 to 5.
Well, was it 4 or was it 5?
It was probably 4 to 5. It's the best estimate I can give you.
How long were the conversations on Signal, the 4 to 5 times?
I think they were pretty brief. I'd say probably around 5 minutes or so.
You think each one was 5 minutes?
Probably 5 minutes,
Were you
yes.
putting it on a timer? Each one had to be a maximum of 5 minutes?
No, I'm just giving you my best estimate, sir.
How certain are you that the Signal calls were 4 to 5 minutes?
Again, I just told you I'm providing my best estimate.
How confident are you the times were between 4 and 5 minutes?
That's the best answer I can give you, sir. I'm giving you my best estimate.
I'm asking you how confident you are.
Objection, Your Honor.
Can you answer that? How confident are you, Dr. Wolfe?
I can't answer that anymore. Specifically.
Okay.
When
Next
you were
question.
required by court order to provide all of the records to Your Honor, you knew that one of the important things you need to respond to were communications between you and the defense for Her Honor to consider, right?
Yes,
Okay. And Signal is a communication, isn't it?
certainly.
You looked at all your records and knew it listed the text messages and the phone calls. You knew that, right?
Yes,
You knew that was going to be a representation that you were making to the court about your communications with the defense. You understood that, didn't you?
yes, sir.
And you wouldn't want to mislead the court, would you?
No, which is why I told you.
I asked. You didn't put anywhere in your response to the court order that there were communications beyond text messages and phone calls. You never, ever alerted the court or anybody to that, did you?
Again, because I have no record of it. I
that's-
have no way of being able to tell when those took place or how many there were.
The question I asked you is when you responded to the court order to provide all communications, and you responded by offering text messages and you responded by listing phone calls, you knew that your Signal calls were communications, didn't you?
I provide everything that I had in my possession, sir.
That's not what I'm asking you. You knew the Signal calls were communications, didn't you?
Yes,
Okay. And you never informed in your response that there were phone calls through Signal as part of your communications, did you?
again, because I didn't have any record like I do with the Verizon entries as well as the emails. I could not, there's nothing I had in my possession, sir.
You've read this court order, haven't you?
Yes,
Did you understand when the court was looking for all communications, it meant all communications?
and I've provided everything that I have in my possession, sir.
During those 4 to 5 Signal communications, did any of these occur before the end of the last trial?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Did any of these Signal communications happen before the end of the last trial?
No, like I said, they were all this year.
You sure about that?
Yes.
Now, at some point, did the defense send you a retainer agreement?
For this year?
Nope. Prior to the end of the last trial, did you ever get a retainer agreement?
No, there was no contract and retainer for the
Not
first
that there wasn't a contract. Did you ever receive a retainer agreement?
No, I don't believe so.